People we catch confessed it already. They were sent to kidnap Madam, said by the detective men. Flipping the paper's purpose, Detective Min told the culprit behind these things as Chunguk smirked and his eyes darkened. How could he forget about the certain person? He really underestimated that person. We have to settle the old and new debts together this time. Recently, Yoon Jong Han negotiated an order with the Moon Company. This is probably the reason Madam met him. Jungkook sneered. He knows how to follow the trend, but unfortunately, my women is not something he can think of. He wants to fight with me, then I will make sure he doesn't have the ability. Yoongi nodded and passed the phone to Minho. Jungkook thought of checking your data after you returned to the country. He didn't know where you had gone for long, and about the child, he doesn't know. It's no difference. That child is also the flesh of this woman. Even after he knew that woman was carrying other's child in her womb, he couldn't help but madly fall in love with you. This was his care about you, not your past. Although he knew the man once had you and even you gave birth to his child. When it became his, the jealousy took over him and he almost went crazy. But still, he wanted you. He had waited for 5 years. Now he would not let you go anywhere. He will walk to you anytime. He would be by your side forever. Chunguk stopped his man to investigate about you anymore and ended the conversation. He thought of the child running here and there around this house, probably, but he never seen it. Where is that child? How would he look like? Think one day, child appearing in front of him, same looking as your ex-husband. He clenched his fists. Why couldn't this woman belong to him from the beginning to the end? You're hiding child so well. Are you afraid that he would not able to accept it? Probably this woman is worried. Let's see. I am going for grocery shop. Do you want to go with me? He actually took the initiative to take you to the supermarket. At first, you wanted to refuse, but thinking how you have been laying on the bed for 2 days and thought to go for a walk. If not, then you will really be unable to get up. You fumed. The combination of handsome man and beautiful woman was always pleasing to the eyes, just like the pair. You and Jungkook walking side by side together along the way, attracting many people's attention. Both of you jumped with the uncle that lives in the same residential, but he wasn't alone this time. There is middle-aged, petite women with him. Both of you also came for shopping. This uncle was very happy seeing both pair and come to greet and even introduce his wife. This is my wife and wife. They lived at upper floors than us. Women glared at middleman. You can't even properly speak. You eat for free. Middle-aged woman's tongue was sharp. That uncle immediately shut his mouth, not daring to speak further. You felt a little awkward and subconsciously looked around. The way uncle get along with his wife will never happen to you and Joko. Hello, darling. Please don't mind. He just doesn't know how to talk. If I didn't see him behave, then I wouldn't be with such a person. Middle aged woman is someone who is experienced and walk further to held your hand. Shopping? What are you buying? Let's go. She pulled you with her. You looked at Jungkook. He wouldn't agree, right? After all, the following incident scared both, and he had been with you all day and night. After during these days, you forget to ask about the matter. If he had fine or not, you have to ask later. Like as he heard your inner request, he raised his one of pro lightly and nodded. You looked at him with little suspension, like he literally agreed. Jungkook's lips moved to say something, but women grabbed your arm and pulled you with her. What are you doing? How can you ask his opinion on everything? Do whatever you want. If he stops you, then you don't be with such a person. There is someone who's looking fiercely at the women, but uncle's wife ignored it and pulled you with her. Look at how possessive this person. I just said it casually and he got angry. If you separate from him, then he will flip the sky over. You don't know others' things, but if you separate from him, then he would keep pestering you and use extreme methods to stay beside you. Darling, as an experienced person, I will tell you to not be petty women, otherwise, you will be bullied in the future. Make sure to choose what you want. If he don't follow you, then don't care about it. She keep talking and you glance back, man followed behind. You want him to be domineering. Aunt will teach you some imperial skills. Uncle walked smiling as Chungkook coldly looked at him. Do you usually live like this? Uncle was stunned, then smiled again. We are already husband and wife. We don't lose if we step back. As a husband, I naturally have to accommodate her, isn't it? Chungkook agreed with Uncle's last word. Or not you the same? Do you think I'm coward, but I feel happy with it? Do you want some advice? As I see the way you get along with your wife, you talk too much. Uncle was stunned that Jungkook walked forward, leaving him behind. After a while, Uncle catch up with him. Look at how you guys get along with. You must be in trouble, right? It has nothing to do with you. Jungkook said indifferently. Or not with neighbors. Don't you want to be happy with your wife? How about I reveal a few tricks to you? Jungkook stopped. Tricks? He sneered. Did he need it? What is that? In the family, women should have status in family. You have to act cool, dealing with men, make decisions yourself. He doesn't want to follow. Don't bother with him. If you asked about his permission in everything, he will be arrogant and you will suffer in the future. You're ashamed and felt that you don't have to learn to control him because for you, he's not your husband. If you said that Jungkook is not your husband, wouldn't it be embarrassing yourself? So let's forget it and take it as having more people's company. Thank you, Auntie. I understand. He smiled at her. This your guy is not bad. He's tall and handsome. Like, look at him. But he looked cold and intimidating. Can I ask you, is he the same when he was in bed? This question catch you off guard and looked at her in disbelief. Why would she ask such a question? I'm sorry. I know it's couple's private matter, but when I saw him, I was just curious. You thought about previous matter when he was in bed. Was he also cold and intimidating? Of course, the answer is not. Jungkook's behavior in bed was totally different from his current self. If Chunguk said to be calm, restrained, cold, intimidating, and heartless after putting his clothes on, then the man who had taken off his clothes was the fiery, greedy, and possessive one. Especially at the last moment, his eyes and his expression could be described with one word love. So you didn't dare to look at his face. You always felt that at that instant you were silent, and the aunt shocked you with sudden question. Are not you going to reveal it? Then how about I tell you about my family person? I Your face turned red like you never share your personal things with others, especially not with people you just met. You're embarrassed to talk and ran away from her. Hey, I'm not finished yet. Why are you running away? Aunt didn't chase after you, but when the man saw this, he became worried and immediately ran after you. Your step stopped when he catch you off and grabbed your wrist, looking so nervous. What's wrong? Your face was flushed red and shook your head. Nothing. The cool expression of man's turned into concern, but when he saw your reddened ear and blushing face, he is little confused and narrowed his eyes. What did she tell to you? Again, you shook your head. She didn't say anything. We still have to buy things. Let me go. elder couple came and saw the scene. They laughed, looking younger couple entangling with each other like, newbie, why are you holding her? Are not we going for shopping? Let's go. Aunt didn't give Chunguk time and snatched you away from him. Looking at the bag, he fell into deep thoughts. Why your face is flushed? What's the matter? He couldn't understand it. Uncle followed behind two women and Jungkook have no other choice but to do the same. This auntie was very talkative and you both share contact number. She was surprised knowing you are a designer and you also learned a lot of things from her and bought fruit, meat and necessary stocks when you and auntie was busy chatting and buying things. You saw the man there wearing casual clothes. He smiled when he saw you. You were stunned and didn't expect to meet with him at this moment. What a coincidence! Junghan is surprised a bit seeing you there when the handsome man suddenly appeared, looking gentle. Auntie, who is standing beside, looked at him, leaning a little to you. Old lover, you almost choked on air and looked at his aunt with disbelief. Clearly, the simple and honest uncle's wife. How came where though? Didn't she know how to lower her voice in the main situation? No. Your eyes roamed around and looked at your back like you remember something, but there is no one. There is no sign of Jungkook. Where did he go? You are in puzzle. Your husband is dragged away by my husband in another floor you just found out. It seems this lady doesn't care about her husband at all. Aunt thought that it's arranged or forced marriage while you had other lover. That's why you were so distant with your husband. Cause your husband looked intimidating. Are you here for shopping? He asked and walked closer instead of you. Aunt nodded and answered, yes, are you too? You listened to both of them, one from Junghan and one word from this aunt. You were silent and the conversation was awkward. You are? Aunt asked, being curious. This man is so handsome, and the focus was on this lady who will not be curious. Therefore, people's heart of gossip burned fiercely because of your attitude towards Jungkook. But second aunt thought you were not kind of frivolous person. She and you had spent some time to talk, and you were kind of sweet person in her eyes, so you were must be friend with his man. Why are you here? You asked, not believing in him. Like previously, he said that he came here daily to check for you. Didn't I said came for shopping? He showed his shopping cart. Really? You looked at the cart and found few things. Yeah, aunt was there standing beside you. She couldn't just walk away at the situation. What if your husband come and saw you with another man? With the personality of your husband, you will definitely be in trouble. It's what she have in her mind and stay there. You talked very little and excused yourself and walked away with aunt. After walking few steps, aunt glanced back. Is he following us? You frowned. You already excused yourself. Then why would he follow you? Does he like you? You were shocked and shook your head. It can't be right. Although back then he indeed expressed his feelings to you. However, that was long ago, and you were his little brother's wife at that time when he said that he liked you. You felt disgust and thought he had other intention. Otherwise, how could he prey on his brother's belongings? But when he protected you in the car accident back then, it made your heart warm and you felt like you need this warmth in your life. But time has passed, even you had little feeling for him, it's already gone, and your heart was occupied by Jungkook. So you never thought about it. Did you see the way he looked at you? You shook your head the way he looked. This aunt looked at you. Are you? this innocent. The way he looked at you was full of love. Can't you tell? It's almost the same way your husband looked at you. The way Jungkook looked at you, you have looked into his eyes many times in closer, but you couldn't define it with words, so you became curious what kind of look he had when he looked at me. You didn't have nerve to mention him as your husband or deny. What if this aunt thought some various things which goes little boy? And the aunt felt that you were a shy person and didn't probe further and smiled. When the man, like women, his eyes will shine and couldn't take off his eyes from her. Shine? What does that mean? Aunt knitted her eyes. How this lady didn't pay attention on it. The man clearly loved her this extent and she have no idea. She don't know how to say it. It's the feelings that felt when you were near the person you love. How do I describe this feeling? She didn't know. You should cherish a person who care about you like your husband is so handsome. Are not you afraid that someone will snatch him away? Snatched? There is nothing that someone could snatch it from you. Even you gotta let go of what you love. And if they come back, they are yours. He is yours. It's Jungkook who came to pester you. Is there no problem with him following us like that? What if your husband comes? You couldn't help but wrinkle your nose. He wants to follow. What can I do? I can't restrict others' freedom. You are right, but you realized something and turned back. When you looked back, Junghan smiled gently. Although it's been years, he is looking still the same, full of gentleness. Perhaps he didn't have ill intention. Perhaps you are the bad that thought badly to others. But John Jungkook, your expression turned serious. That day Jungkook found out that you went to meet Junghan. He was so angry that he even forced you. The darkness, the rudeness, and the handsome, intimidating man. It's the feeling of rabbits stuck into cave. Aunt, can you wait for me while I will go and say a few words to him? She nodded. Hurry up. Okay, I will say that they will be back soon. You nodded, understanding, and walked towards Jonghan. He blinked. What's wrong? He gave you a puzzled look. You finished buying? Your expression is telling him that you have something to do with him. Do you think I'm following you? That's why you came here to shop?